Microphone check, microphone check. Okay, sweet. Just hit her with the old unplug and plug back in, eh? Is that all it was? I have all this fancy mic equipment that I use for my audiobooks. I'm trying to use it for streaming, and I have all this fancy mic equipment that I use looks for like my audiobooks. It looks like it's coming through, right? It looks like it's coming through. Check. Oh yeah, you guys like my shirts? Me too. Um, if it messes up again, I'll just unplug it and we'll go straight to the phone. The phone mic is good enough for the most part. All right, so let's get cracking. The rituals, right? Liber The rituals of the. Can someone look up AOM? AOM for us? I pray for your swift recovery, my. Oh, thank you, Shadow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jace. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tari Q. I know. I hope so too. I have 2 gigs this weekend, and it looks like I'll. And they're both at night, so it looks like I'll be playing with sunglasses on at night. I'll be that musician that plays. I have a song called "I Am the Pirate Man," which is going to be very very fitting. Let me know if the mic cuts out. We're going to keep reading. So we're at the very end of the chaos magic. Chaos magic. If you missed the other lives, chaos magic is a form of new age sort of magicery that takes from all other fields of manifestation or religion and spirituality and philosophy, old world, new world, um, out in the far eastern philosophies to pagan to shamanism to it's a little bit of everything. Chaos. It's all about. Well, we're getting into the dark side of it, which it's trying to claim that it has no. You can avoid consequence if you want, which that's one of the things I don't necessarily agree with. And I think we read that. I read some of that on the TikTok, but I'm not sure if I read it with you guys. I'm okay, TT. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for your care and concern. Okay, let's go. We're cracking into Liber Om. Yeah, I hit myself. I hit myself in the friggin' eye with a wood splitter. I was splitting wood, but I wasn't using it properly, and I hit a piece of wood hard. I hit the hell out of it, and the piece of wood came flying back and hit me in the eye. Let's get cracking though. So Liber Om. All right, the rituals of the degree of the adept are secret, yet they are stated here in the most explicit form which language permits. Only by perfecting oneself in the work of the initiate can one attain the empowerment required to use the techniques of the adept. Anything less than this leads to failure, disaster, leads to death. The methods are given here that some sight of the eventual goal of the work might be glimpsed. In the work of the adept, the aspirant has risen above the use of all symbolic systems save reality itself. The playthings of the initiate, sigils, gods, demons, and the instruments of the sorcerer, he will reabsorb into himself or retain only for teaching purposes. His need for magical weapons will be restricted to the ceremonial. It's funny, you know that Illuminati rabbit hole where they say the famous people all have black eyes because it has something to do with being punched in the eye or some shit like that. Now I'm like, whoa, I'm reading occult magic stuff and I show up with a black eye the next day. Like, I swear I'm not part of the Illuminati. I would I would not be working with really shitty backyard studio equipment if I was part of the Illuminati. I feel like I'd be a little more hooked up than that. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, let's continue. I read a little bit of this yesterday, and it's talking about relinquishing all magical things, magical talismans and crystals and staves and wands, etc. Because the true adept magician doesn't need any of that stuff, except for ceremony or maybe teaching and stuff like that. So that's how far we've gotten in the book, because we've passed up sigils and things of that nature and gone straight to the alchemist, him or herself. So his tools would be direct prescience and enchantment. In the lower grades, knowledge and ecstasy were taken as a guide to progress. For the adept, only the ability to work magic is used to measure the increasing strength of his spirituality. During the work of the adept, the transmutation to magical consciousness is completed, and he becomes one who liveth chaos in perpetuity. The force may take him anywhere. He might decide to project the requisite personality dualities and gather persons about himself to form autonomous satraps of the Illuminati. And we start talking about the Illuminati, Jesus Christ. He might simply withdraw his manifestation from the plane of duality entirely and cease to exist. For out of chaos arise the two prime forces of existence, the solve et coagula of existence. Solve is like a solvent, right? You do is extracting, separating, et and coagula, to bring together, right? Separating and bringing together of existence. The light power and the dark. The light power is the expanding, outgoing, dualizing, increasing expression of chaos, responsible for the new birth, creation, incarnation, and variety. The dark power is the contracting, returning, transcending, withdrawing expression of chaos, responsible for death, dissolution, reabsorption, and simplicity. This is one of the things that I don't necessarily tie into when it comes to this ideology. It talks about chaos as being the origin of things more times than not. And I don't really see chaos as being the origin of order. I see them both coming manifest at the same time. It's like I don't believe that it's like saying light comes from darkness or happiness comes from sadness or action comes from inaction. It's you know what I mean? Because those have correlating parts. So to me, action and inaction, passive and active, light and dark, chaos and order all come into being simultaneously, not one after the other. It's like you have a thought, the all has a thought, or the all decides, if you could even say that, for a universe to come into existence, and all law, chaos, and order arrive simultaneously. But again, that's a belief. I mean, how are we going to prove that? We can't. But that's just a thought that I've been having throughout this book. One of the things that I don't agree with. These twin forces lie at the root of all mystic quests and all forms of magical and mundane action. They are the basic spiritual principles of the universe. Adherents of one will always call the other black. Thus, the expansion into existence can as easily be called the dark ascent into matter, and the withdrawal from existence can be called the return to light. But this is mere philosophy and ultimately devoid of meaning. The positive and negative paths of magic converge and form a unity which itself diverges from the mystic paths. While mysticism is at the root concerned with following either the light power or the dark, magic aims to play uh, the one off against the other. The magician aims to become a center of creation and destruction himself, a living manifestation of the chaos force within the realm of duality, a complete microcosm, a god. The work of the adept is arranged under the headings shown in Figure 1.2. Gregory, I got hit in the eye splitting wood. I hit myself real bad. Look at that. You should see. I made a video. I'll post a video tomorrow or something. I took videos when it happened in the ER, and it was pretty. It was a lot. It was a lot to go through. Almost. At least wear sunglasses, but hope you get better. Loved, lover, I'll get better. Thank you so much. Um, yes, yes. Thank you guys for all of your concern, though. By the way, um, etherics. The ethers, in their various degrees of density, are the means by which magic and miracles are effected. The adept may require these abilities to accomplish his will on earth, or he may simply wish to develop them as a test of the mystic abilities. Operations of this kind may be classified according to the density and the origin of the etheric forces employed. Operation of the Operation of the dense ether is used to accomplish gross feats such as levitation and the short range occult martial arts. The force responsible, I like that they throw martial arts in there, because the martial art dudes who use the chi and the kia to friggin' punch through bricks with their balls and stuff like that. Not really, but practically. The force responsible for this resides in the belly just above the navel and may extrude in lines of force to any part of the body and to any location outside the body's surface to a distance of several meters. Levitation, which includes the ability to walk on water and fire, as well as air or at fantastic rates across the earth, is accomplished by supporting the body's weight with these etheric force lines. In the case of fire walking, the force is used to repel the heat and flames. To get these force lines to come from the body, the adept sits cross legged on the ground and attempts to jump like a frog from this awkward position. The exercise is usually conducted in darkness and the jumps attempted with the lungs fully inflated. Within as little as 3 years' practice, one may begin to learn how to exert etheric force against the ground. A cushion may be used to protect the tissues of the posterior in the meantime. Protect that booty. Can I see? I can. It's very blurry. I lacerated the sclera and I scuffed up the cornea pretty bad, so it's a little blurry, but it's all superficial. Well, now you're initiated into wood split. What is that a thing? Do all wood splitters go through something like this? Because I still feel very silly. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yes, sir. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Rusty, you said it first. Movement of the force within the body is easier to achieve and most commonly is approached by trying to develop a warmth or itching sensation at various points. The adept should be able to free himself from the attack of virtually any form of disease and ensure longevity by directing the psychic force to any site of weakness. I should have used the chi to deflect the wood coming to my eye, but it was too fast. If the force can be drawn to the hands, then it may be projected just beyond for healing purposes or to deal fatal blows to an enemy. We're talking straight up Jedi mind powers right now. We're talking about the force. We're talking about the chokehold. We're talking about Vader's chokehold right now. Just the force choke. The dense etheric force is the basis of most superhuman feats. The abilities of leaping to great height, clinging to smooth vertical surfaces, the deflection of weapons, and the strength of madness. Operation of the subtle ethers involves the transference of thoughts and emotions by the agency of the ethers, which normally link the life force to the brain. The simpler the message and the greater its emotional charge, the more easily it is projected. As with all things, destructive effects are much more easily created than constructive ones. The adept may begin to strengthen his abilities by selecting a small specimen of plant life and trying to make it wilt and wither by the force of his unaided will. As it begins to succumb, he may reverse the current of his will and resuscitate it again. He may practice telepathic contact with various beasts, dogs being particularly suitable for this purpose. At odd moments, he may pick various persons around him and make them stand up, sit down, or move around and do particular things. One of the classical tests of psychic ability is the power of casting an aura of subjective invisibility around oneself. This does not involve any alteration in one's optical properties, but surrounding persons are somehow prevented from noticing one's presence. The complementary ability to this is the projection of an aura of charisma or fascination, which may have application in the formation of sundry cults and Masonic sects. These powers arise from a constant, semi conscious, intense concentration on the characteristics one wished to project. You, using the life force to start a cult, is that what you're getting at? Sir Peter Carroll of Liber null and the psychonaut. So here's a transubstantiation. Of course, love lover. Why do monks chant? Oh my goodness. Why don't they chant? We should make a list as to why someone doesn't chant. Because they suck. I don't know. Just um, dude, you can do chant. I read a really cool um essay from some this British scientist who went to India and found out how they moved giant stones, and they moved them via levitation, according to this um, British traveler, I think from the early 1900s or something like that. And he said that the vibration of the monks chanting and playing musical instruments was able to levitate the stones. So chanting, I mean, chanting can be a type of sigil in itself. It could be a type of subconscious programming. It could be healing. It could be levitation of stone levitation. Okay, let's read this poem called Transubstantiation. The penultimate metamorphosis, the achievement of constant magical consciousness. And all things know that I am this illusion, and all things know also that I am not this illusion. But there is no thing more ineffectual than to be always only half in the world and half out of it. Thus, at the moment of one's doing, be in it, identify completely, live it, and in the interstice between all one's doing, reside in the void, be vacuous, have no mind. Neo. Know that know that by this one may attain to complete freedom from the consequences of one's actions. That I don't really get behind. I don't really get behind that one. Know that by this one may attain to complete freedom from the consequences of one's actions. I don't. That's another thing that I disagree with in this book. That we can use that we can free ourselves from ultimately from the consequences of our decisions. Even this book itself references the law of cause and effect and its importance in the practice and study and understanding of this knowledge. So how can you on one hand enact the law of cause and effect and then say it doesn't matter at the same time? I think that you can avoid the swing of the pendulum for a certain amount of time, or you can negate the law of cause and effect for a certain amount of time. But I also believe I also believe that holding that swing of the pendulum for so much time causes massive catastrophe when it does rebound, kind of like a dam. The bigger the dam, the more water you hold back. It's yes, it can be done, but it takes an enormous amount of energy. And if it were to collapse, the catastrophe is catastrophic. But also, again, that's just one of my beliefs. I'm not saying it's absolutely true. It's just, I don't know, that seems awfully dark side. That seems like, okay, now we're talking some Illuminati. We're going to control mankind and do absolutely heinous things to people. And believe that we won't have any repercussions for our actions. Dangerous, this book. Interesting stuff. Sorry, my eyes blurry. I can't read your guys' comments. Eli, prayer repeated a certain amount of times. I love, but why think about it? But why is it? But why, comma, think about it, or is it? But why think about it? Altogether, I'm not sure what your Eli. Gregory, casting spells through vibration and thoughts. Agreed. Bena Chakma, you stick your hand in fire, it burns, hurts. That's Bena. You learn it's wise not to touch fire. That's Chakma. All right, thank you, Ela. We're gonna go to the chaos here. Everyone slap that like button, please. Thank you. All right. The chaos sphere is the prime radiant or magical lamp of the adept, a psychic singularity which emitteth the brilliance of darkness. It is a purposely created crack in the fabric of reality through which the stuff of chaos enters our dimension. Alternatively, it may be considered as a demonstration of the axiom that belief has the power to structure reality. The chaos sphere may be given a material form which acts as an anchor to locate its chaotic and etheric manifestations. The shape shown in Figure 13 is only one of the number of possibilities. It consists of a sphere with 8 arrows radiant, directed toward the vertices of a cube. Thus, to the thinking mind, it may be said to variously represent a perspective sculpture of the four axes of the geometrically impossible hypercube of the two interpenetrant tetrahedra of the light and dark forces. Wow, that was a mouthful. Such twists of a logic may be useful in the creation of an essentially paradoxical object. It is colored the deepest black, for this is to give it all colors simultaneously and to provide it with the greatest potential for the emission and absorption. The central sphere is hollow to permit the inclusion of various objects, and one of the arrows is detachable as a magical weapon. However, the physical shape can take any form that the ingenium of the adept suggests. It is a trifling matter compared to the psychic preparation which goes into its construction. The chaos sphere is charged and opened into the magical dimension by filling it with etheric life force, which has been paradox modulated. The life force may be supplied by any method over which the adept has mastery: blood sacrifice, sexual emissions, projection of the body's etheric force of transference by concentration during ecstatic Gnostic rites, or by other methods. The paradox modulation is achieved by imprinting the life force with all matter of contradiction and impossibility. Any two opposite and mutually exclusive ideas or images can be simultaneously employed. The imaginary metaphysical principles of life are principles of fire and water, or nuit and hadit. This is our image that we're talking about. Whoops. So the imaginary metaphysical principles of fire and water, or nuit and hadit, incompatible geometries, simultaneous blackness and whiteness, mathematical zero and infinity. Any manifestation of paradox and possibility can be used, and many different ones should be made to serve. If the adept be operating a temple, his initiates and students may assist in formulating the chaos sphere, and it may then function as a god or fetish. The more power that is put into it, the wider will be the breach opened into the chaos dimension, and the greater will be the free chaos energy liberated. Now I'm thinking rituals and like on some Beyonce, on some uh, Super Bowl, on some World Series level of ritual. You know, do you have to know that you're in a cult in order to breach the void of chaos? In other words, is what I'm getting at. Like, it says, if the adept is operating a temple, his initiates and students may assist in formulating the chaos sphere. The chaos sphere is the fabric tear in reality that leads to the other side. Is that like Stranger Things? Are we talking Oblivion? Are we talking Skyrim Oblivion tear? All sorts of tears into any dimension, and feeding into that chaos sphere, the more energy you get, the more powerful it becomes, etc., etc. But again, do you have to know that you're in the cult to participate in the cult? Or can you just be watching the Super Bowl and that's enough to include you in the ritual and to lend your power to it? The sphere also exists as a vortex or a door through which magical will and perception can reach easily to the other regions of existence in the manner of a powerful mirror. The erection of operating chaos spheres at various points about the Earth will tend to hasten the emenetization of the eschaton, the change of eon. What does eschaton mean? What's eschaton? We're gonna look that one up. ESCHATON. What the hell does that mean? Someone look that up for us. ESCHATON. Eschaton. The final event in the divine plan. Oh, that's cool. The end of the world. Jesus. All right, so let's read that with new context. The erection of operating chaos spheres at various points about the Earth will tend to hasten the immanentization of the end of the world, the change of eon. Aeonics. The fifth magical eon exists only in embryonic form. Its precise manifestation hangs in the balance. The new chaos eon may develop into an Aquarian age or a time of totalitarian tyranny. As agents of the fifth eon Illuminati, adepts may occasionally break their meditation to alter the course of history. For existence is the for existence is the chariot of chaos, and man the most refined vehicle available. Adepts may be concerned that the society of men continues to evolve ever better forms to support the divine incarnation of Kia on Earth. They may work to build the new eon's technologies, the technologies of emotion, belief, magic, transmutation, and politics, which will free men from spirituality, prejudice, superstition, identity, and ideology. That's interesting. So the chaos, at least according to this dude's goal, is to even break from spirituality. I can see that. And they may seek to create cults, orders, covens, and cabals to spread the secret wisdom and to destroy the satraps of old eon spirituality and its thought forms. For the fifth eon has the potential to be a great renaissance when mighty deeds will be done upon the earth, and chaos philosophy shall hurl men to the corners of the galaxy and into the very epicenter of their being. Either that, or a new dark age. Hello, chat. Wait, we read that part. So that's pretty interesting. Reincarnation. How you guys doing out there? You enjoying the context? You enjoying the content so far? I hope it's somewhat enlightening. I hope we're getting something out of it. Let me see something real quick. Where is the love? Reincarnation. You can be good like a monk, or you can be bad like the preacher from Poltergeist 2. The alternative, hopefully. Aye, Sassenach. Integral reincarnation is the final metamorphosis. It is a supreme ritual of sex and death by which adepts attain to the degree of master. In the ordinary course of events, the personal ether and life force of Kia disintegrate as the material body disintegrates. New beings are built up from the pool of the universal life force in the same way that they are built up from the universal pool of matter. The personal life force then finds its way back into the incarnation, broken up into millions of parts, scattered into many beings. The adept magician, however, will have so strengthened his spirit by magic that it is possible for him to carry it over into a whole new body. In an exceptional display of power, it may even be possible to retain specific memories in either form. It is by such a process that adepts achieve the final degree of mastership. The supreme rituals of sex and death exist in three forms: the red, black, and white rites. The red rite. This rite can only be performed by male adepts and is performed when the adept's body has become very aged or damaged. The adept takes a young, strong female and forms a powerful love bond to her. He impregnates her, and then during the early stages of the pregnancy, within the first 2 months, he voluntarily ends his present existence. Whoa. The powers of the adept developed in astral travel workings, coupled with the effects of the love bond to the mother, cause a reincarnation into the developing fetus. Wow. Provision is beforehand made for the security of the female and the re-education of the reincarnating master. Wow, that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. The black rite. The rite consists of the forceful entry of a spirit into the body of an already inhabited being. It is both dangerous and unreliable, and used only in certain peculiar and desperate situations. It will sometimes result in there being a double life force in one body. If the invading spirit fails to displace the occupant, in this case the victim will seem to have gone mad. In any case, the memory of the taken over being remains, and the invading being will have to work through this. Of this rite, I have been advised to say no more. The white rite. In this rite, an integral reincarnation is achieved, but the receiving body is a fetus randomly selected by the escaping spirit in astral flight. In the event that one's friends, followers, and disciples might be unable to locate one's new manifestation and ensure that it receives a proper magical education, it may be wise to carry an etheric marker. So this sounds like what the Dalai Lama does, I'm assuming. At death, some sigil emblematic of one's magical aspiration is fiercely visualized. It may be later apparent to the clairvoyant perception in the etheric constitution of the developing infant, or it may serve to cause some recognition or affinity with the symbol if it perchance accidentally stumbled upon in the new existence. All right, squad. I'm sorry. I gotta cut it short. My eye's starting to hurt me. I can't keep. I don't know if you can tell, but I can't keep it open anymore. I just really wanted to show face and keep the momentum going because things in motion tend to stay in motion. We'll come back on. I have a show tomorrow. I have a show Saturday, so I most likely won't be on until Sunday again. And Sunday, if you haven't gotten your books yet, the book is very short. I'm sure you guys can finish it very quickly. I might have just unplugged my phone. Yeah. Maybe you can read it and finish it in 2 or 3 days by then, and we can have a little book meeting. We can go over. We can do some Q&As. I'll probably hit ChatGPT and give us some questions. Maybe build us a study guide or some key points to go over, or I'll go over my notes and put them into ChatGPT, and we can come up with some good topics for discussion. Maybe a Q&A, and do some nitty gritty. But I love you guys. If you guys have the means and motivation and you want to support with a super chat or join the Patreon or become a channel member, that would be awesome. Or share this in your favorite spiritual groups. That's also awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I can't stay with you longer. My eye hurts. And I'm just going to chill and eat ice cream or something. I don't know. But Gregory, share the book. Okay, so this book is it's The Occult Sciences, Volume 2, Liber Null and the Psychonaut by Peter Carroll. I think it's Peter Carroll. Hold on, let me check. Yes, Peter J. Carroll. I'll type it into the chat. Peter J. Carroll. It's a fascinating book. I actually enjoyed. There are some beautiful practices, some beautiful practical practices in here. I learned a lot. I've already changed my own personal spiritual practices, my meditation practices, visualization, subconscious work, and just how I how I approach, my everyday life has changed, as it should when you're reading books like this. You don't have to believe all of it. You take what you need, you leave the rest. But I can tell that it's good, and I would definitely suggest it to others. We'll go deeper on Sunday, so if you want, I think it was like $8, $9 on Amazon, and it was next day delivery if you have Prime. But that being said, Peter J. Carroll, Liber Null and Psychonaut is the name of the book. That's it. So, Lieutenant Dan, buddy gets beat up and turns spiritual. Lieutenant Dan, Rachel, Rusty, Gregory, Ela, everyone who's not participating in the chat but participating in spirit, thank you so much for chilling. I love you guys. I'll see you soon, all right? Take it easy.